Hello everyone, welcome back. The third speaker is ready. It's Mitchell van Dooijeweerd. He's a sustainability coordinator and he's ready to take you on a trip to circularity and the food court, of course. Mitchell, please join us.
So welcome all. Thanks for being here. With a great lineup of good speakers of the Revolution Foundation and all the people who are involved in it. I'm going to talk about the food system of one of the 6 themes of the Circular Festival, and where Sander was talking about already in the strategy. So I'm going to take you, as Claudinho said, on a trip to the food system. The current food system is based on the linear economy, which is based on a take, make, and dispose economy. And that affects the environmental sustainability a lot. The food system causes a lot of food waste, packaging waste, and land use, and water use, pollution of soil, and CO2 emissions. I will give you some facts of the waste and emissions. And one of the facts is that 25 to 30% of the greenhouse gas emissions is caused by the food system, and 1/3 of the worldwide food system is 1/3 of the worldwide food production is waste, and 2/3 of all the packaging waste comes from food. And Europe has 108 kilograms of packaging waste per year per person, and that's a lot. And 95% of all the food waste is going to landfill, and that really is in line that it's a linear economy. So next thing is what I want to talk about is the agriculture. There is 40%, the agriculture use 40% of total land use and 70% of total fresh water use. The population, the world population in 2015 will be 10 billion, and 80% of the food that is consumed will be consumed in the urban area. So yeah, we definitely need a new system to, because we cannot use that amount of land because the planet is not growing and our population is. So we need a new economy, a circular economy, and a new circular food system. A circular food system is a system that designs out waste and pollution, keep products and materials in use, and is a regenerative natural system. And then in terms of the definition of a food court, what is a circular food court and what's a circular food system? The PBL has a definition that is natural resources are used responsibly and food waste is prevented and residual flows are reused at the highest possible value. In terms of the food court at Digital, we started with eliminating our CO2 emissions by going meat-free, because the consumption of meat has a big influence on our carbon footprint, and scientific research has shown that the emission from the meat industry account for nearly 80% of the total carbon footprint, carbon emissions worldwide. And that is a larger environmental impact than the complete transportation industry. And with Digital, by removing our menu from the menu, our meat from our menu, we have drastically reduced CO2 emission and saved large amounts of water and land use. And next to that, we make that decision to not sell meat, don't sell meat anymore. We did an awareness campaign. This is what you see here is an activation in Barcelona, Digital Barcelona, where we show the solution and we want to make it fun. What I really like at festivals is that we have such a big reach, that we can inspire people, that we can inspire them to maybe make a little change in their lifestyle. And when you look at this cool art installation, then you see that by going completely vegetarian, we saved 68 million liters of water, which is equal to 1 week showering for all the festival visitors. And that's a lot. So next to that, we reduced 53,000 of CO2 emissions, and that is equal to almost 300 return flights between Amsterdam and Barcelona. As you see here in this figure, you see that by cutting our meat from our menu, we reduced in CO2 emissions with 40%. So as we started in 2017 with the circular goals, so we made a long-term strategy for becoming circular in 2020. And this was the first material flow analysis that we made, where you see that things come into the system and come out of the system, and going out to the system. So that was the start of our circular ambitions. As you see here, we have a lot of food that is wasted. Food scraps, food packaging, and we really want to do something about that. So in 2018, we thought we should introduce a new circular food court, the first circular food court in the world. So where we started with, the food caterers produces really nice and delicious vegetarian meals and dishes, and festival visitors eat it from the disposables that are biodegradable, and then the visitors needs to bring it to the compost station, and there's a composting machine where we put all the compostable materials into compost. It's the useful compost that we bring it afterwards to urban farmers, and they produce local grown food for us for next year. How did that look at a festival? In 2018 we did that, and as you can see here in the middle of the food court is a compost station where where visitors can bring their plates, cutlery, etc. to the compost station. And as you see, all the tables are aligned to there, so it's really obvious that you should bring it over there with the extra signing we have had with the resources, as you can see. As you see here is the food recovery hierarchy, where we, instead of sending it to landfill and burn it, we make compost out of it, so that's one step further. And it's, improvement of our food system. As you can see, in 2018, we always start with our plans with the material flow analysis. You see that we have 300 kilograms of compost by eco-creation composting machine. So how can we fight overproduce, and how can we fight food waste? So as you can see here, I go to back. The best way to use food is source reduction. Reduce the volume of surplus food that's generated, and feed hungry people with that. So in 2019, we thought, okay, in addition to converting the food waste, plates, cutlery into compost, we also should focus on the front end of our food system by cooking with food that otherwise would be thrown away. We maximize the percentage of wasted food for our meals using residual flows from local food chains, and furthermore, the affiliated chefs are pioneers in the field of circular cooking and reusing their own residual flows. So we basically flipped the system, and we made a menu based on what was available to us instead of what the visitor really wants. But next to that, on the festival side, it was like one big kitchen of 49 meters, and there the chefs are working together. It's really natural look and feel, and it was a nice system where we had just one cool container where everybody was in, and so that really helps with co-creation and that everybody works together. Here you can see how you can order things, and we made menu boards and all the menu boards for reuse. So as you can see there, the chalkboards, you can just erase it, and you can make new ones for the next event. And we want to make visitors aware of the imperfect food. These food letters, these are filled with the rescued produce. And during the festival, our volunteers just climb up the food station, and they get some food out of the letters and they bring it to the chefs and they cook with it. And in this way we can show that the food that is overproduced, is surplus, it is really used edible food. So that was the way that we're showing it to them. And we had a chef's table where we went in we are a little bit more in depth with communication, and there we had it was for partners, artists, and some other important guests for us, and we went a little bit in depth with the communication about our new food system. So the results of the food court in 2019 were really good. We rescued 30% of the complete menu was based on rescued food. The burgers, for example, were 70% rescued, and the toasty breads were 100% rescued. The bakeries that they produce breads, and sometimes they are a little bit too small or a little bit too big, and then they cannot use it anymore. So we thought, okay, we can make toasties out of it, and we worked together with In Stock to, and they had a croquette that was 50% rescued, and salads that were 100% rescued. And so that is a really good result for us. And next to that, we increased in compostable materials. So from 300 kilogram compostable materials, we had now 820 compostable materials. And that is, we achieved that by, we had a lot of fences, we had fences around the food court, and we didn't have any trash bins on the festival side. So it was really cool that, we see that the monoflows were facilitated a lot better than the year before that, and that's why we have a lot of compostables. And one of the results is that we won greener catering awards with it. So yeah, that was one like cherry on top for us. Then the plans for 2019. We focus on, you can see here on the material flow analysis, where we start every year with that we used a lot of that we had 820 compostable materials. So for 2020, we want to prevent food and packaging waste. We want to eliminate more CO2 emissions. We want to reduce the impact of the ingredients and supply chain, and we want to serve good and healthy food. And that in an efficient way. But the base is always good and healthy food. So for 2020, we still have all the components mentioned before that are still part of the blueprint of our circular food system. And this year we want to take a logical step further, namely that we are complete plant-based. This is a development that is on the rise, and we can introduce our visitors to it, and it has never happened on a large scale. It's a great challenge to get it done, and it's a time to search for creative solutions to have less impact on the environment. And nowadays there are plenty of options to actually do this on a large scale without compromising on quality. And by removing animal products from our menu, we saved up to 2/3 of the complete emissions, because by removing meat is 40% and removing all animal products is 66%. And we work with only 3 caterers, so we had a shared kitchen of 30 meters, and we are really efficient. We have a central production kitchen where we have less transport, because we do everything from that place directly to the festival, and so it's really efficient for energy use and movement. So by working together and transparent, it is also accepted for us to sell out products, and in that way we can really fight overproduce. And next to fight reusable, to fight packaging waste, we have reusable tableware. We want to use reusable tableware. We shift from recyclable to reusable tableware to break the taboo of the use and throw away behavior. And I think this is a really cool way to tell your visitors that the plates and cutlery really have a value, instead of that you can just throw it away and compost it. So next to that, I really want to discover creative solutions for the packaging waste. And these edible coffee cups remain solid for 30 minutes with a hot drink in it. Yeah, our whole office really liked it, and this year we're gonna work with those Cup Bites coffee cups. And yeah, to wrap up this, I want to take you back to the definition of a circular food system. That is, natural resources are used responsibly, food waste is prevented, and residual waste flows are reused at the highest possible value. I think this food court that we have created now, this food system, is really in line with this definition of a circular food system, but still we have some goals for long term. We want to fight food waste globally, and we want to reduce emission in the supply chain, and looking forward to more creative solution in the food system, and we really need everybody's help for that. So thank you for listening, and if you have any question, you can ask them now.
Well, thank you so much. You definitely took us on a trip. And by the
Yeah.
way, you can stop sharing your screen so
Oh,
that
okay,
people
that's
can
great.
see you properly.
Yeah.
So yeah, same goes as the other speakers. I have some forwarded questions for you first,
Yeah.
and after that we will do some live questions. When you were doing your presentation, I saw some interesting ones in the chat, so that in a few moments.
That's cool.
The first one is, in comparison to 2019, what was something like a change in the way you created the food court? Was one invention you looked forward to?
What I was looking forward to is that we really, so instead of 2019 to 2020, or
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, I really like that we made a big choice. Like in 2016, we choose to be a vegetarian festival, and now we choose to be plant-based. And I really was, yeah, we have so cool food for the visitors to offer, and it was just a really nice, and yeah, it was all perfect, I think. And I think I really wanted to see the reactions of all the visitors by eating this, and that I think there were a lot of questions: is this really no meat, or is this really not dairy products? And I think we had the best, one of the best products, like the vegan plant-based cheese. It was all so good.
All right, and like you mentioned, completely plant-based, and
Yeah.
you just spoke of seeing their reaction. Was that the only thing why you chose to go fully plant-based, or were there more things involved to make that choice?
No, also because we want to. Yeah, there is a big system change needed, and there are some people. Some companies or people that needed to make some big decisions, and I think it's really cool to just try it and be and that we just are that we dare to do it, and I think that's a cool thing.
And personally, why do you think it's hard for so many people to have a vegan diet?
Yeah, I think it's that's a good question, but it's really because it's in our nature to eat. For example, in food there is in animal food there is a lot of umami and sweetness in the product, and so with some green vegetables, for example, that is missing in the product. So I think some people are missing that kind of feeling that we have from the whole evolution. That's missing. That the sweetness is a signal of calories, and it's a signal of and umami is a signal of accessibility of proteins, of accessible proteins. So I think it's just the way we transformed as a human is that we are finding it really hard. But nowadays there are really good products that you can use to add umami or that sweetness on your plant-based diet.
All right, thank you. And we spoke about food quite some time right now, but
Mhm.
so just one final question from my part. For this one.
Yeah.
So if you would break it down to one or two of the most, what is the most important message regarding food from you?
Yeah, I think that we all seeing that a lot of food is wasted, and that food chain really needs, the food system really needs change, that we make an agreement on with the complete chain, that we do not throw anything away, that everything that's brought into the food system for human consumption, that we really use that for consumption and we do not throw it away. So if you, that's really tangible for at home too. If you are having something in your fridge that is made for human consumption, then you should make an agreement for yourself that you definitely eat it. You can conserve it, you can bake it already, and then you can keep it 3 days longer if it's almost almost out of date.
All right, thank you. Well, I will have a look at the chat right now
Yeah.
to see if there are some people watching that would like to ask you something.
Okay.
All right. Up front, I see a very interesting one.
Yeah.
How long does it take to recycle and assimilate all the rest products after the festival ends?
In 2018, as I said, it was within 24 hours because we had a composting machine, and that's on a temperature of 70%, and it's like that machine is made for to make it to make quick compost out of it, and that was within 24 hours, and that was it was a really cool thing. And now last year we did it external, and then you need like 12 weeks for it, for the whole composting processing.
All right, that's good. And another one is, how do you work with food allergies or intolerances such as soja or nut allergies? Because that one is a very serious one.
Yeah.
And maybe can you also describe what are the most common ones you are focusing on the most?
I think we focusing for this year on normally people that are eating vegetarian or plant-based, they cannot eat. They just can choose one or two options from the menu. And at digital, you can just choose everything. And still, we have some. We see some people that have a nut allergy or gluten allergy or something else, like you said. We have. It is like we have to make visible for on the menus which allergies are involved in this product. So it is really clear for everybody to see that, and we always check out which and we make a plan that we have for every allergy we have something. And if you are really having problems with that, you can email to digital, and then we can make something else for you.
All right. And I'll just check for two more questions. Somebody is asking, does digital own composting machines, or do you hire them? Let's do that one first.
Okay, we do not own composting machines. We used a composting machine of Eco Creations in 2018. It was from it was a startup. It was a new product innovation, and they wanted to test it at our festival and now they are renting and selling those products for big restaurants and for big hotel groups.
All right.
Yeah.
And since Digital 2020 obviously it's not taking place, otherwise we would have been there by now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you just taking your ideas to next year, or are you going to take another look at what you were supposed to do this year, but will you change anything next year?
What we thought about, what we designed this year as a circular food system, we definitely gonna use that next year, but we're gonna change it a little bit because we got more knowledge. We have 1 year to think about it, and we are making it even better.
All right. I see no more questions in the chat.
Okay.
So I would like to thank you for your talk. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, really, I really enjoyed it.
I hope the people watching as well. So for now, the only thing left to do is I will take over. So you may close your screen and
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.